The way to get things done is not to mind who gets the credit for doing them. It was the early 1900s and the steel industry was booming. Charles Schwab, a prominent industrialist and one of the wealthiest men in America at the time, was facing an ongoing challenge at Bethlehem Steel, his company. Despite having skilled workers and substantial resources, Schwab found that the company was struggling to meet production deadlines. He had a high turnover rate, frustrated employees, and a constant backlog of unfinished tasks. But what truly troubled Schwab wasn't the machinery, the workers, or the company's finances, it was something much simpler. Schwab realized that his workers were not organized. They were being constantly interrupted, distracted, and overwhelmed by a lack of clarity in their daily tasks. One day, Schwab met with a productivity expert, a man named Ivy Lee. Lee was a consultant who had a reputation for helping companies increase efficiency and streamline operations. Schwab, though skeptical, was open to ideas. In that meeting, Lee offered Schwab a single piece of advice, one that would change the course of Schwab's career and ultimately the future of Bethlehem Steel. Lee's idea was simple. Every day, each employee should make a list of the most important tasks for the next day and only focus on one task at a time, starting with the most important one. Lee's pitch was straightforward and compelling, and at the end of the meeting, Schwab was intrigued enough to ask Lee for his fee. Lee, with confidence, replied, "I want nothing more than $25,000 if this method works for you. If not, you owe me nothing." Schwab agreed, and what followed was nothing short of remarkable. The power of organized thinking, this seemingly simple concept, would transform Schwab's company and personal life forever. Schwab went back to Bethlehem Steel with Lee's advice in hand, convinced that something had to change. He immediately asked his employees to begin the practice of organizing their tasks each day, prioritizing the most important ones and focusing only on them. It was a drastic shift, but Schwab understood that this could be the key to solving the company's challenges. You cannot push anyone up the ladder unless he is willing to climb. The results weren't immediate, but as the weeks went on, Schwab began to see signs of improvement. Workers who had previously been scattered and unfocused began to gain clarity in their jobs. They felt more empowered because they knew exactly what their top priorities were and they weren't distracted by the constant, overwhelming stream of tasks. The work was more efficient, deadlines were met, and employee morale began to rise. What Schwab saw in action was the power of organized thinking. The entire company seemed to be functioning in a more cohesive and productive manner, with everyone focused on doing the right thing at the right time. Productivity soared. In a few short months, Schwab realized that Lee's $25,000 idea was worth its weight in gold. His company was thriving, and so was his personal success. Schwab felt that he had gained the key to solving not just problems at Bethlehem Steel, but challenges in business and life itself. The power of organized thinking was not something Schwab had learned in a textbook or from years of experience in the steel industry. It was a simple yet profound realization that the key to success in any field wasn't necessarily about hard work or having the best resources. It was about focus and prioritization. If one could focus their attention on the most important tasks and break the overwhelming chaos into manageable chunks, they could achieve extraordinary results. This realization didn't just impact Schwab's professional life, it changed the way he approached everything. He began to organize his thoughts, his meetings, his daily activities, and even his personal life with this principle in mind. He no longer wasted time on distractions. He learned that true success came from knowing where to focus, how to simplify tasks, and when to take action. Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. Schwab's personal and professional growth accelerated because he learned the value of organized thinking. As he became more focused, more deliberate in his actions, and more efficient in his work, Schwab found that success wasn't about doing more. It was about doing what mattered. As a result, Bethlehem Steel's profits surged. Schwab, once concerned with the company's future, soon saw his empire expand, all because he had learned how to simplify complexity and focus on what truly mattered. Years later, Schwab reflected on how a $25,000 idea had changed everything. That small, seemingly simple advice had reshaped his career, his company, and his entire perspective on success. He realized that the power of organized thinking wasn't just about productivity, it was about control. control over your time, your thoughts, and your actions. He understood that success is built on the ability to decide where to place your energy and to focus that energy on the right things. The idea that one could create order from chaos by focusing on one thing at a time was life-changing, not just in business, but in all aspects of life. The way to get things done is not to mind who gets the credit for doing them. Charles Schwab's legacy is more than his financial success or his leadership in the steel industry. It's about the timeless lesson he learned: organized thinking is the secret to success. That one simple idea, when applied consistently, transformed not only Bethlehem Steel but Schwab himself. Today, the story of Schwab's $25,000 idea continues to inspire entrepreneurs, leaders, and individuals seeking to maximize their potential. The principle remains timeless: focus on what matters. Organize your thoughts, break down your tasks, and keep your attention on the most important things. In our fast-paced world of distractions, where we are constantly pulled in different directions, this story reminds us that the most successful people are those who can find clarity, prioritize, and focus on one thing at a time. The secret isn't working harder, it's about working smarter and focusing on what truly makes a difference.